Hello everyone, this is Mundan Nakpan. In this video, we are going to do our first Selenium test. So Selenium test in the sense we are going to do the automation for the web UI. So in order to do that one, we are going to see the framework or we are going to see the library for that. So just go to the interpreter settings, click on interpreter and click on plus symbol and you can choose the robot framework -Selenium library. So since I have installed already, I'm just canceling here. And coming back here, then you will be going to the actual website. And this is the website that we are going to automate. It will be a practice form where you can find the different first name, last name, email, gender, mobile number. For practice purpose, in this video, we are going to use still mobile number. That means that we are going to enter the data for name, email, gender, mobile number, and we are going to submit. So manually, it will be done easily. But however, when you do the automation, you need to find the locators for that. So the locators can be a different forms like ID, XPath, link text, partial link text, CSS, and so on. So for simplicity, if you just right click on inspect, you can see here. And here it will be having the different values. You need to find any one value that uniquely identifies this web element. For example, I'm going to use the ID. So in order to search here, you will be pressing Ctrl F, and for ID, you will use the hash symbol. Then just type the ID value. So ID value is first name. So it is uniquely identifying that element. If you just mouse over the HTML content, you can see which is the element being found. Okay, fine. So in this way, we will be finding the web elements for each thing. For example, first name, last name, email, gender, and the mobile number, and the form of the entire form. Let's say the locator of the entire form. So after finding all these things, we will be going to the Python. So as usual, we are going to use the different sections here. So settings, the documentation about your robot framework, and library, Selenium library. Since we have already installed the Selenium library in our, let's say, the framework, we can use the Selenium library and the operating system. We are going to use the operating system because we are going to deal with some folder structure. We are going to refer some folder structure. So why do we need the folder structure? So when you deal with web browsers, you need to have the driver file when you automate that. So for that purpose, we are going to use the Chrome driver.exe to work with the Chrome browser. So we need to mention where actually the Chrome driver.exe is locating. So for that purpose, we are going to use the variable called driver path. And from the operating system, we are going to use the current directory. So current directory in the sense, it will be like just like a dot or just like a current project folder. In that folder, we are going to use the drivers folder. Inside that, we are having the Chrome driver.exe. Here you can find that. Then Selenium test cases. And we are going to use the different keywords. And second section will be your, let's say, the locators. And third section will be your the values. Based on the different keywords, it will be varying. For example, open browser, it will expect the first one as the URL, and second one, it will expect like a Chrome browser or which kind of browser you want to open. And you need to give the executable path, or let's say the Chrome driver.exe path. So since already we have the Chrome driver.exe path, so we are going to give that value under the executable path by using the variable. Then after, we are going to use the different keywords based on our scenario. So generally consider that scenario. For example, you are going to open and you are entering the value in the different fields, right? And you are clicking on the different web elements and you are just submitting the form. The similar fashion here, we are going to do the same thing, and we can find these keywords under the. So let me open. So under the Selenium library. So if you go to the robotframework.org itself, you can find that. Besides, I will be adding this URL in the description section. So let's say whatever you want to do in the web UI, you can type it here, or you can type the relevant terms, you can find that. For example, I want to open the browser. Here you can see it can it will be opening the browser. Or let's say I want to select the radio button. So just type radio button and you can see select the radio button, or radio button should be highlighted or should be selected or should not be selected. So there are different things related to the radio button. Let's say if you are going to work with alerts, then you can see alert should be present and handle the alert, and the text of the alert should be something like that. So everything will be there. The similar fashion, based on our interaction with the web UI in the functional way, we are going to find the keywords. For example, open browser, input text, click element, and submit form. These are the very basic keywords for the Selenium test. And we have given the syntax as per the documentation. For example, open browser, you can see first will be the URL and second will be the browser name and third will be the executable path. And not third, actually, it can be the different keyword arguments. So based on the scenario, you can just add the different values or key value pairs. Okay, fine. So after doing this one, so just right click and run it. So here you can see it is opening the browser and filling the values, and it is clicking on the submit form. Thanks for submitting the form. So purposefully, I have not closed that browser because we want to see the output, right? So for that purpose. So this is the very basic about the first test case, right? So what about, let's say a little bit, we can refactor it. So here you can see all the locators, or you can see all the URLs are hard coded. Let's say tomorrow you want to check for the different website, or let's say different environment altogether, demoqa.sit.com or uat.com. Or let's say tomorrow you want to check for the Firefox browser. Or in that scenario, you will be using the different hard-coded path, right? So that may not be the very correct way. And the similar fashion tomorrow, if some of the ID or locator changes, then you need to update in the test cases. So for that purpose, we can go to the next level where you can use everywhere as a variable. Not only for the driver path, for the browser, for the URL, even for the locators. But we discussed in the previous video, or let's say the first video, it's not like you can have every sections in the same file. Even you can have a single section and you can use that other section files inside your file. In simple words, here I'm just taking all the locators like a variables, and I'm not going to mention those variables in this. I'm going to create a separate file or separate robot file to have only locators. So here you can see it has only the section of variables and it has all the locators with the variable. Just for the naming convention, I'm using the LOC just to point out that is the locator, and for the different web elements. So just to use that locators.robot file, I'm going to use the another keyword called resource to use the same robot file here, and followed by the name of the robot file, locators.robot. So by using this way, you can use the all the variables present inside your locators.robot. So now if you execute the same thing, you will be getting the same kind of output. Location form, locators, ID user form. So everything is correct. Let me close all. Go to here and just right click. Selenium second test. So sorry for that. Actually, there is an indentation problem inside your input text. Earlier, it was something like this. So even though it does not highlight here, so in the indentation matters a lot inside the Python or inside the robot file. So if you are like that, something like that, let's say if you run it. So here you can see the Selenium library.input text. So we are using the input text here, and it is telling expected to under the arguments. Expected 2 to 3 arguments, got only one. So that means that here the entire thing was considered like a single argument. So that's the reason we are getting the error. So just putting the indentation after that, it was working fine. The same way I'm just updating here and execute again. Yes, so we got it. So this way you can write your different sections inside a different robot file, and you can import that by using the keyword called resource, so that you will be having the modularity. For example, all the, let's say the locators will be in the separate file, so that you can use it or you can share with other people or you can update in a different location. And here we have used the Chrome driver and we have used the current directory to point out our current project directory. And that's all about this video. And we have seen that how to do the automation for the, let's say, website by using the Selenium library, including the Chrome driver.exe for the Chrome browser. So this is all about for today video. So thanks for watching and have a great day.